Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you will, I'm going to call this meeting to order. And at this time, I'm going to have Tucker Green is heading off to college and has already went over there. He's back to be with us. He was our interim individual here during the summer, and we have got him on a temporary restraining order to have to come back. But I'm going to ask Tucker, if you will, you want to lead us in prayer tonight. Thank you.
You can bow your heads, please. Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day you've given us, Lord. We thank you for this group that came together for this meeting to try and help Pickens County and Pickens County government, Lord. We thank you for public servants who dedicate their time and hours away from their family to do a thankless job, Lord. We thank you for that. We ask that you'd be with us here tonight, be with our elected officials, give them wisdom and guidance as you'd see fit. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. And while we're standing, if you would please do the pledge of allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us down to item number 3 under amendments to the agenda. There is a few items we're going to do. We're going to have to take it out of sequence if my two cohorts will agree with me, because we've got a gentleman on the end down there that's got to go to another meeting at 6, and it's a contract that we have been working on for quite some time for Good Samaritan. But anyway, under the amendments to the agenda, I'd like to add under action item C, the credit card resolution for elected officials, and also B, which is add under action items D, the Good Samaritan construction contract. But along with that, what I would like to do to solve any further issues is move the action items, which is item 10X, up after we approve the agenda before employee recognition. And if we can do that, we'll just go ahead and clear that whole, then we'll get back to our normal agenda. So if I can get a move in a second, if y'all will approve that. Hold on a second. We are also going to have to add, executive session on that, but I will bring the executive session. I'd like to move executive session right on down before item number 9, for guests and comments, before we go and have an executive session. So all that being said, may I get a move in a second to approve the agenda?
Second.
Have a move and a second. Any further discussion? None being, all people that know by saying aye.
Aye.
None opposed, thank you. All right, so now that brings us down to the item right before the employee recognition, which will be the action items. As we go into the action items, A, under approved minutes, number 1, the regular board meeting for July 20th of 2017. I need a move and a second to approve those minutes for that meeting, please.
So moved.
Second.
Have a move and second. Any further comments or suggestions? None being, all in favor, let me know saying aye.
Aye.
None opposed, thank you. Those have been approved. That brings us down to item number 2 under action items under work session meeting, which was on August the 3rd, 2017. I need a move and a second to approve those minutes also.
So moved.
Second.
Move and a second. Any further discussion? None being, all in favor, let me know by saying aye.
Aye.
None opposed, thank you. Rezone request. Richard, we do not have a rezone request on item B for tonight. Then that brings us down to item C under credit card resolution under elected officials. Ms. Harvey, if you want to speak to that, please.
Okay, the resolution that you have before you is based on a law that was effective January 1st, 2016, and it affects the credit card usage by elected officials. Up until this point, we have some credit cards, but they're just under the county's umbrella. This resolution really needs to be done to comply with the law, and that makes any elected officials, at the present time, the sheriff has a credit card and the magistrate judge has credit cards, has a credit card. So it would make them responsible for their own credit card account, basically. It's still paid by the county, but they would do the reconciliation and the record keeping and that kind of thing, and just forward it to us for payment.
So what you're saying is with this piece of legislation that was passed, that any elected official that has a credit card that wants the bill paid, they've got to reconcile every month to get through the bill.
Yes, their account will be under their cards will all be under the elected officials account rather than being under, right now it's sort of under the Board of Commissioners or Pickens County government account.
Is it going to give them the ability to issue however many cards they want?
They can issue, it doesn't limit them issuing cards, they just have to have a signed agreement between the elected official and the employees, basically the same as their agreement that they make with the Board of Commissioners, that the cards will be used properly and all documentation will be given and that kind of thing.
Give the board here an update. The Pickens County Commission, the office that we're responsible for, how many credit cards have you got so
Two,
far?
on the two.
We just got 2 here.
Yes.
How many does the sheriff's department have at this time?
They have 3.
And then anybody else has got any?
The magistrate has 1.
Okay. So that would pretty well,
Rob?
Yes, ma'am.
Who are the 2 that has?
I've got a credit card, and then Ms. Harvey has got a credit card.
Okay.
We hold on
It
to them
stays locked in the.
They locked in the-
department.
in the
That's
vault.
just for everyone.
Y'all have any other questions on those cards? All right. What is y'all's pleasure on the, on this new January 1st, 2016 OCGA 368024? Yeah.
Do you foresee any problems with this one?
I foresee that any problems will be the responsibility of the elected official to clear up. Right now, we do have, like, because the girls in the finance department have to do all the reconciliations, so they do have a problem getting back up and receipts on time. But this, with the agreement, the agreement that the elected officials have to sign between the county and themselves, it designates that they need to have a person who will do the reconciliation and will forward the documents timely, so we should get them all. So hopefully it's going to correct the problem instead of creating a problem.
Okay. Go ahead and accept.
I have a move, make it a second.
Second.
I move in a second. Hold on.
So that motion is that under item 3, the designated county officials.
Yeah, what it's going,
That basically any elected official that executes the purchasing card and credit card user agreement is authorized to have one issued.
So the motion is to authorize the chairman also to sign the resolution. Right.
all right, we have a move and a second. Any further discussion? None being all in favor, let them by saying aye. None opposed, thank you. All right, Ms. Fay. Okay. That brings us down to D, item D, Good Sam Construction Contract. Brad, you got anything you want to say towards that?
I'll just answer any questions you might have. But I do have all the contracts and the bond,
Okay.
performance bonds with me.
Let me just read you this real quick. It says, to the Pickens County Board of Commissioners from Brad Herring, Board Member and Chairman of the Building Committee, subject to executive summary for approval for the general contractor contract block grant 14 PY 112-1-5690 in regard to a building grant, CDBG if I'm correct, for the Good Samaritan for proper financing, or for part of the financing for this. Bid opening was on 6/15/17. Cooper and Company General Contractor was sole bidder. Cooper and Company received official clearance from the state of Georgia. Both Pickens County Commissioners and Good Samaritan BODs approved the bid on 6/16/17. Georgia Department of Community Affairs approved Cooper and Company as a sole source general contractor to the grant project on 7/17/17. Pickens County Attorney reviewed Cooper and Company contract agreements and approved with the following amendment. Pickens County will pay $306,103. The remaining amount from the $500,000 CDBG grant that was received. The Good Samaritan will pay a max of $1,613,897 for a maximum contract of $1,920,000 subject to additions and deductions provided in the contract documents. Good Samaritan attorney at Allison & Bird reviewed the Cooper and Company contract agreements and provided several suggestions. Through discussion with Cooper and Company, many of the suggestions and amendments were made and agreed upon with Cooper and Good Samaritan. Cooper and Company had 100% performance and payment bonds with Hartford Fire Insurance, 3160 Campus Drive, Suite 100, Norcross, Georgia, at 30071 USA. Good Samaritan's recommendation to the Board of Commissioners is to approve the contracts. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to call Brad Herring on behalf of the Board of Directors and the Building Committee. Thank you for your continued support of Good Samaritan. So this is the addition for the building down there at Good Samaritan and the CDBG grant that goes with it. Y'all have any questions to that? This is approved. When will they start construction?
Next week.
Really? I need a move and a second to go ahead and approve this.
Second.
Have a move and a second. Any further discussion? One other question I'm going to ask, Brad. Is Pickens County going to have any funds in this project? All this is through CDBG and what was donated through Good Samaritan, correct?
That's correct.
So there's nobody having, I don't want to have any misunderstandings.
No, it's only the grant funds, which is not Pickens County funds.
Right.
Thank you very much.
And the grant is through Pickens County, it has to be, that's why you want to.
That's correct. Any further discussion? None being all in favor, let me saying aye. None opposed, thank you. Congratulations. Thank you. Get that project finally off the ground. Thank you for staying, Brad.
Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us up to item number 5 on the employee recognition. Ms. Denny, I'm assuming you don't have anyone this
Don't
evening?
have anybody.
All right. That is an item that Mrs. Denny has been running and it's been working out well for the employees of Pickens County. At this time, we're going to go to item number 6, the finance report. I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Harvey.
Thank you. The finance report that y'all have in front of you reflects it's for July, the period ending July 31st, 2017, and it reflects the first 7 months of our budgeted fiscal year. So the expenditures should not be over 58.3%. First, we'll look at the revenue. The total revenues collected through July 31st is $8,002,653, and that's 31.34%. Under the general government functions, expenditures are $1,792,317, and that's 51.81%.
I missed that. What? Read that again.
I'm sorry. Under general government,
Uh-huh.
$1,792,317.
Okay.
And that is 51.81%. Under the judicial functions, the expenditures were $1,768,267. That's 48.94%. For public safety, expenditures are $6,773,664. That's 52.54%. For public works, total public works expenditures are $1,866,064, and that's 57.79%. For the health department, the senior center and the MATS program, the expenditures are $391,119, and that's 49.19%. For culture and recreation, they spent $501,889, and that's 53.9%. Housing and development expenditures were $303,680, and that is 49.41%. So the total general fund expenditures through July 31st is $13,397,001, and that is 52.46%. So that is under, the expenditures are under budget, about 5.8% through that period. For the enterprise funds, the water department, the expenditures are $1,425,157, and that is slightly over at 66.48%. The reason that budget is over right now, the generators the 4 generators that y'all approved at the last meeting, which is grant funds, we had to do a purchase order for those. So until we get the reimbursement for that, we will be over budget, but the normal budget is fine, it's not over budget. So for the airport, their expenditures are $196,538, and that is 49.58% of the budget. The line item budget reports were distributed to the department heads and elected officials on August 11th, and I have copies of all those if you ever would like to see them. Any questions? It looks good.
You're supposed to start receiving their proposed budgets tomorrow, aren't you?
Budgets are due tomorrow. I've received several budgets. I haven't received all of them yet, but we're working on them.
Okay. All right, any further questions? None being. That's going to bring us down to, excuse me, my voice will hang in here. That's going to bring us down to item number 7 under consent agenda. Under the consent agenda, we signed a National Health Center Week 2017 proclamation. And if I may, whereas for 50 years, community health centers have provided high-quality, affordable, comprehensive primary and preventative health care in our nation's underserved communities, delivering value to and having a significant impact on Americans' health and care system. Whereas as the county's largest primary care network, health centers now serve as the health care home for over 25 million Americans and over 10,000 delivery sites across the nation. 1 in every 13 people in the United States get their care in a community health center. Whereas health centers are a critical element of the health system, serving both rural and urban populations, and often provide the only accessible and dependable service of primary care in their communities. Nationwide, health centers serve 1 in every 6 residents of rural areas. Whereas everyday health centers are delivering new approaches to integrating a wide range of services beyond military care, including oral health, vision, behavioral health, pharmacy services to meet the needs and challenges of their community. Whereas health centers are locally controlled by patient majority boards, ensuring that the patients of each health center are engaged in their own health care decisions. Whereas health care centers are locally owned and operated small businesses that serve a critical economic engine, helping to power local economies by generating billions of dollars in combined economic impact in some of the country's most economically deprived communities. Whereas health centers nationally employ nearly 190,000 people, including physicians, nurse practitioners, physician's assistants, and certified nurse midwives who work as part of the multidisciplinary clinical teams designed to treat the whole patient. Whereas health centers models continue to prove an effective means of overcoming barriers to healthcare access, including geography, income, insurance status, and in doing so improves healthcare outcomes and reduces healthcare systems costs. Whereas health centers reduce overall cost of care by managing chronic conditions and keeping patients out of costlier healthcare settings like hospital emergency rooms. Whereas health centers are on the front lines of major healthcare crises that our country faces, including providing access to care for our nation's veterans, addressing the opioid epidemic, and responding to public health threats like the Zika virus. Whereas National Health Care Center Week offers the opportunity to recognize Americans' health centers, their dedicated staff, board members, and all those responsible for the continued success and growth since the first health centers opened their doors more than 50 years ago. During the National Health Center Week, we celebrate the legacy of Americans' health centers and their vital role in shaping the future of Americans' healthcare system. Now, therefore, the Pickens County Board of Commissioners do hereby proclaim August 13th through the 19th, 2017 as National Healthcare Center Week. We encourage all Americans to take part in this week by visiting their local health center and celebrating the important partnership between America's health centers and the communities they serve. And that was Item A. All right. Item B, we signed the Georgia Mountain Regional Commission Letter of Intent. Mr. Dobbs, I'm sure these individuals here don't want to hear me read out this thing. Can you give a Reader's Digest version of what this is?
I can. That's where we're working with a large group of counties and cities in the state of Georgia on acquiring new aerial photography for our area. And also, in addition to that, we're also going to get some LiDAR for our ground control for a lot of future projects involved. And everything within this contract and everything is on the lower end of cost. So we're getting a big bang for the buck, and we're really looking forward to getting it done.
Any questions for Mr. Dobbs on that? All right. That brings us down to item C. Excuse me, item C, signed a workers' compensation and safety discount verification form. Paula, this is here, it's a group self-insurance workers' compensation fund safety discount verification form. The appointment of ACCG GSI WC insurance contractor is Paula F. Pierce. She's the Human Resources Director. And the safety coordinator is Mr. Curtis Clark, Fire Marshal Safety Coordinator for the same entity through ACCG, who is our insurance coverage for workman's comp. That's what this one's about. All right, that brings us down to old business. Item number 8. Under A, the LMIG road paving schedule for 2018. Now, for a reminder for everybody, LMIG is the state money coming from GDOT that helps us, we partner with, that helps us pave a lot of our roads here in Pickens County. Have y'all had time to look over the listing? Y'all have any changes you would like to make? We still got some time, don't we, Johnny?
Yeah, I'll submit it till October.
We'll just hold it, but I just want you to be aware of it. What's in red has to be done. Those are the very ones that really need for the first part of 2018. We can move a few of the others around, but as we graded all the roads, that's some of the worst ones also.
Ron, since Kim Quinton is here, our Public Work Department manager, I just want to pass along compliments I'm hearing about the work you're doing out there. So, had some people on Scenic Drive really complimenting you, and I can't remember the other street, but it's near Daniel Lopez. So, congratulations.
Well,
You're
thank you
doing
very
great.
That's Daniel Lopez, that's a jail, isn't it?
Cane Trail.
Cane Trail.
Yeah,
Cane
that's
Trail.
right.
How are we coming? I know for the information purposes, I know that Camp Road is paving now between the four-way stop and 53 there on Burnt Mountain Road. What's the status of it? Because I know school buses run there regularly.
Yeah, and then we're finishing up that and then moving to Ray Road and Brooks Road,
Okay.
down across from the Quickburger, and then Turner Road.
Okay, the Turner Road. What's the status of Camp Road though? Are they going to be done with it by tomorrow, you think?
Yeah,
Really?
should be.
Okay. All right. Kim, again, thank you very much for the work that you and the boys have done, and then working with Northwest Georgia Paving, I believe, and that's who's doing some of that in there and all those roads in behind Walmart. We do appreciate for all the pipes and all that have been replaced this last winter. Let's see here. All right, that's LMIG. We have item B is the capital lease for vehicles through the Sheriff's Department. We discussed that through the meeting and all the ifs, ands, and buts on the capital lease. Ms. Fay, you said at the time we had this, when we had the work session, that the sheriff has got money in his SPLOST for this capital, to handle this capital lease, but he has not quite decided on which vehicles he's going to buy.
Right, well, the revenue stream for a portion of his SPOS funds will support the debt service for the lease for the next 3 years.
So I guess what we need tonight is this is the resolution. I need approval from the board to go ahead and sign this resolution, where then the sheriff then will be able to go ahead and get his vehicles ordered in a timely fashion. Give him some leverage.
Like Becky asked about the ACCG. ACCG is just BB&T is the representative through ACCG for the financing, and that's why there's some ACCG resolutions in there. But it is through BB&T, and they gave us a rate of 2.2% for years.
For 3 years. All right, ladies and gentlemen, what's your pleasure? All right, got a move? Got a second? Move and a second. I have a move and a second to give me the authority to sign this. We can proceed on. Any further discussion? None being, all in favor, no by saying aye.
Aye.
None opposed, thank you. All right. Then that brings us down to item number C, something I've been wanting to see for quite some time. This has been a project in itself to try and find a piece of property, but evidently with the help of Johnny and Rodney and a few others and Tucker, and finally, if you want to, can you give us an overview on whose property this was? Miss Gertrude
This
Moss?
was Gertrude Moss. Clyde wasn't theirs, handed down to their daughter, the older daughter, Barbara, and she was interested in it when we approached her with the idea and receptive, and we let her pick out the part of the 80 acres she's got, and it worked out great for us.
To give,
Lays real good,
Ideal location.
perfect. I mean, there's not a whole lot of work to be done there.
we have people out there that's got ISO rating of 10, so that should pretty well eliminate a lot of it out in that area. Now, we've been working on this since September of last year, and we've looked at, what, 7 different parcels.
7 different parcels.
Everybody wants one, but nobody wants it in the front door. So it's one of them catch-22 deals. But this family here does one, it's 2 acres. So I need an approval from the board. We have an appraised value, and I think they were asking, what, $13,500 per
35,
acre?
I think, yeah.
Per acre, which all that splosh money we've had put back for some time. So that's $27,000 for 2 acres, right there, right on the main road for a piece of property. And we want to start the construction of the fire station as soon as we finish up the bid packages and go ahead and start getting them out. Hopefully we can do that within the next month.
What Sloan and I hope to do is get it in and have opening bids the last Friday in September, so they can get started.
Where is this from the clubhouse right there?
Mile and a half, 2 miles.
Yeah, about 2 miles on right on down that.
I'd say 2 miles, yeah.
It's up there is it on Carlin Road, right before you get to Moss Road?
Yeah.
Just right there.
So we got some things to
It's a great location.
But I need the approval to go ahead and sign this and go ahead and pay this young lady. Got a move? Have a move and a second. Have a move and a second. Any further discussion? None being, all in favor, let know by saying aye.
Aye.
None opposed. Thank y'all very much, because this has really been a task. But I just want to let everybody know here, we are having a groundbreaking at 9:30 in the morning at the site. So bring your cameras. We'll try to bring some shovels, and hopefully it's not raining and the varmints are running wild. But thank y'all very much. Proceed with that. All right, that brings us down to item number 9 under new business. We've got a tentative contract with the Gilmer County Water System. As you know, and as the public knows, we are running a line up Jones Mountain Road. We halfway. I think the project is halfway done. We're doing it. The crew, our own crew, is doing it in their spare time between putting in water meters that we have been inundated with. But anyway, Gilmer County, we will be the first county that they will be able to hook to interconnect between counties. Of course, we're already connected to Calhoun, Gordon, Cherokee, and we've got lines up on the Dawson County side, and we're furnishing water to Dawson County on the fire station up there for them. But that being said, this line here is probably going to take another 2.5 months to get up there. Gilmer is wanting to run a line from Clear Creek down that way and hook to us for the ability for 2 things, either to sell us water or for us to sell them water. And to try to get water and water safety and the ability for the citizens up in that area to hook to water for that area. Because a lot of those wells up there do have iron content. So that's fixing to happen, plus fire hydrants will be going all the way up that line up through there for hopefully ISO ratings for the future. That being said, we are wanting to sign, or we're wanting to sign and go through with a water distribution agreement. I was kind of reviewing it. We have got some offers and counter offers, so we're still working on that. And so it's still pending. I think you have looked at it, I believe, at one time. We still don't have the numbers, but what we're trying to do is finally finish out the numbers on this. So I would like to have the authority to go ahead and keep negotiating with them, and then we'll have bring back to y'all approval whenever the contract gets finished. That'll be fine. All right. We need to move a second for that. We should need to move a second for that. All right. The next thing is item B under tax digest. Approve the 2017 millage rate. Ms. Harvey, I'm going to turn that over to you.
Okay. In the work session a couple weeks ago, you all started the 5-year, the digest and 5-year history of levy and authorized advertisement of it. It did advertise in the newspaper last Thursday night, or last Thursday, and it gave notice of this meeting and the millage rate and all the numbers associated with that. The millage rate is being, if we use the rollback rate, which we've advertised, it will go from the 2016 millage rate was 7.95, and it's decreased to 7.883. And that's because there was some growth in the digest. So to equalize the revenue, we have to use that rollback rate. So it's been advertised at 7.883.
So you're asking us to can we go ahead tonight and then approve?
We can approve it, and I'll get all the documents to the tax commissioner for him to take to the state.
All right.
Second.
All right. Have a move and a second. Any further discussion? None being, all that favor, know by saying aye.
Aye.
None opposed, thank you. That has been approved. Okay, now that brings us down to item number C. Back a few years ago, we had a Gilmore-Pickens County Joint Development Authority. What that means, to give you all a refresher, is the fact that we are a Tier 4 county, which most of y'all heard what a Tier 4 county is. I'm not going to go back in that. But if we do have any more industry, commercial growth, anything that happens to base on a tier system, what that does, joining with Gilmer County, gives us the ability that we will be able to offer state incentives for tax incentive packages through the state. We can't do it as a Tier 4 county, but we can join together as a joint development authority. We've already got it set up. It was done back in 07, 08, kind of went into hold process. So everything right now is pretty ready to restart. Only thing we need to do is to reappoint. We got a member on there that the term had run out, and that appointment needs to be refilled. And I'm going to recommend Ryan Keeter to fill that position.
What is Gilmer County's tier rating?
They're a tier. I think they're a Tier 3, if not a Tier 2. So we can, even though we're a Tier 4, if we partner, we can partner down to that lower tier and gives us some more opportunities for those incentives.
Is that TJ's son, Mr. Keeler? Is that TJ's? Don's Okay.
nephew.
Yeah. We try to keep one or two banks involved in those things for the tax purposes, but his name came out. I thought it was be something we could vote on tonight if y'all so desire. Sure. All right. You made the move, Jerry? Had a move, I need a second. Have a move and a second to appoint Ryan Keeter to the joint Gilmer-Pickens County Joint Development Authority Board, and we can go ahead and get it reinstituted. All that in favor, let me know by saying aye.
Aye.
None opposed, thank you. That is done. Pardon? I can't think of it. Now, at this time, we are going to have to adjourn. We have got to go into executive session. And I need a move and a second to go into executive session to consult and meet with legal counsel pertaining to pending or political litigation, settlement claims, administrative proceedings, or other judicial actions brought or to be brought by or against the county or an officer or employee in which the officer or employee may be directly involved under OCGA 5014-221 on the 17th day of August. I need a move and a second to go into executive session.
So moved.
Second.
Have a move and second. All in favor, number saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, thank you. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going into executive session. I can't tell you what time it will be over. You're willing to stay if you'd like. Only thing we've got after that is guests and comments when we come out. So, and cannot tell you if we'll be making a decision. I would say not. Yeah. No, yeah, no. Ladies and gentlemen, Phil, I'm going to turn it over to you just for a second.
I'd like to say for the record that the board came out of executive session at 6:42, motion made by Robert Jones, second by Becky Denny to come out of executive session. No other action was taken. Do I have a motion, I would like to entertain a motion to approve the executive session minutes as read.
So moved.
Second.
Vote.
We have a move and a second. Any further discussion? None being, all in favor of saying aye.
Aye.
None opposed, thank you. That has carried. Now, that brings us down to, if I can find it. This brings us down to guest comments.
Nine going apart.
That's okay. All right, that brings us down to the last item, guest comments. Please keep your comments to 3 minutes, and we will proceed on. Anybody got any comments? Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Well, thank you. My name is Michelle Cooper. I appreciate the opportunity to speak to you, and I appreciate your service to the community. I'm here to speak about the breed ban. When I moved to Pickens County 11 years ago, I fell in love with it, and I still love it. This is my new home, and I love everything about it. I love the people, I love the scenery, and I love the way people care for each other, and I'd like to see a little more caring towards the dogs, because I always felt that I wouldn't want to be a dog in Pickens County. And I never wanted to change anything about this town because I love it so much, but I think that's one thing that we can do better about is treatment of the animals. So I had a couple questions. I'm not sure if you can answer them now, but I'd like to just say them, please. I'd like to know when the breed ban was put in place.
Go ahead.
Okay. I'm
I'll
sorry.
respond
I don't know the
after the meeting.
process.
We'll listen to your comments.
Okay,
and I'll respond
okay,
after the
thank you
meeting.
very much. When was this policy introduced and who introduced it to the board on what recommendations? Was there a work session or a meeting and when was that? Also, if I was to call the shelter now and wanted to adopt a pit, what pit bull or a Doberman or a German Shepherd, what would they tell me about that, being that I do live in the county? And I can understand your reservations because I came from a big city where pit bulls were a problem. But once I started volunteering at the shelter, I realized that I was no longer afraid of them. I got to know them, and I actually own one right now. I have friends in Florida that have 5 children and 6 German Shepherds. And then I have friends here in Pickens County that raise Dobermans with their children. So I guess I don't understand. I can see some of your concerns from what you hear in the media, and frankly, I don't believe most of that to begin with, but I just like for you to maybe address my questions if you can.
All right,
Thank you.
Any other? Yeah.
Kind of hated that the gentleman from Good Samaritan's no longer with us at the meeting, but on behalf of everybody in Pickens County, I want to really applaud and compliment all the people that donate so much time and work so hard to make Good Samaritan what it is for Pickens County. And just want to speak out to them and tell them how proud I am of what they're doing.
I'll let them know, thank you. Any other comments? Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Jones, my name's Sharon Prather, and I have a copy of an assessment that a lady volunteered to do on Annabelle, and I would like to give you the copy for your records.
I don't have any records, but I'll be glad.
Like I said, she volunteered her service. This is what she does for a living. And it's just, the latest assessment on Miss Annabelle.
Any further
Thank you.
comments or questions? Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank y'all for being here. And y'all have a good evening, have a good weekend, and watch out for the eclipse coming Monday. Y'all take care, thank you.